Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. My name is Zamil Solanki, and it's an absolute pleasure, as always, to be joining you on another episode this morning. And if you haven't done so already, go and grab your tea, your cuppa, your coffee, whatever it is, and yeah, strap in because we're about to jump into today's episode. And like always, let's get the energy absolutely to an 11 out of 10 because we want to start this day off with maximum energy, and wherever your day actually starts. You might be doing night shifts, so your day might be starting when I'm going to bed, who knows. But let's get this energy all pumping. The reason why I did mention that, just to give you some context, if you're watching a replay as well, a very special welcome to each and every one of you, because I know we're getting people from all over the world joining us on these episodes. So likes, hearts, you know the deal. Send the love, and I'm going to give the love right back to you. Feel free to also say hi, drop a comment in the comment section below, because as you know, I love to interact with each and every one of you. So let's have a look here. There we go. There's a little caption that I was looking for. So let's jump into today's episode. I'm hearing a lot about I guess how stressful things are at the moment, particularly in the health industry. If you're a healthpreneur in the health industry, it's extremely stressful at the moment. But not just in the health industry, like even if you're in the hospitality industry, or you've got even a grocery store or a fresh produce supplier, things are very, very stressful at the moment, just even based on logistics. I was just chatting with a colleague yesterday about it, and just the, I guess, challenges that go through with, good morning, Tash. As always, thank you for jumping on. And I was just chatting with a colleague yesterday about the challenges that we go through, that all of these diverse industries are actually going through based on, the current happenings and the current events as a result of this pandemic. I was even chatting just with a different colleague yesterday as well. You talk about shipping costs, and he was telling me about, they were trying to import some stuff, and this is a medical supplies company, and a container on Monday was 20K just to ship. And that's a 6-week lead time to even get at least a 6-week lead time to get it over into Australia. On Monday it was 20K. They went, okay, cool, we need to get approvals, we'll come back to you. They went back on Thursday and said, yep, that's all good, we've got approvals. They're like, sorry, that same shipping container is now $80,000. Can you believe it? So you're wondering now, well, some people have this perception of going, health must be absolutely crushing it at the moment. But whatever increased revenues that the health industry might be seeing at the moment as a result of the pandemic is definitely offset throughout the expenses. And a great example of this is the building industry. We've seen, so many people say, oh, you're a builder, you must be absolutely killing it at the moment. Well, no, if they signed contracts 6 months ago and have to deliver on a product to a client based on 6 months ago pricing, well, prices have dramatically increased due to things like shipping costs that I illustrated before. So it's extremely stressful at the moment for a multiple range of reasons. But what I've noticed, particularly in the health space and chatting to, health colleagues who are, healthpreneurs, but in the health industry specifically, is that the managers, the leaders of the organization, the owners of the organization are conveying to me how stressed they are, how much they've got going on, how much under the pump they are. But then my question to that is, well, okay, if you're just treading water, the water's up to here and you're treading water and you're just gasping for air and just trying to stay afloat. Well, what about your team members standing right next to you? Are they literally sinking, but you're just treading water? Are they freely swimming? What's happening with them? If you're just treading water, we become so engrossed with what we're trying to do because we're now in survival instincts. And we might be ignoring the advice of a team member, a colleague, a friend, a family member who's like, why are you're treading water right now, but you know what? There's a piece of driftwood right there that you could just hang on to. There's a lifeboat here that I could give you. But if we're not listening out for these cues, if we're not asking the right questions of our team and seeking their feedback, seeking their input to help us all survive this together, not just survive, but to thrive through this together, well, then we're ignoring the other symbols. Now, a great example of this is think about Formula One racing, right? The driver's in the driver's seat, and you could be, as you're in the driver's seat of your own healthpreneur journey, but you've got a whole pit crew and a whole bunch of team members around you to give you insights, to give you feedback, to give you information that you can then act upon. But you need to be listening for it. You also need to be asking the right questions of your pit crew, your team, your support network, in order to get the most out of your performance in that driver's seat. So my question to you right now, if you're just, treading water, swimming like that, are you actually taking on board feedback, insights from those around you? Are you actively listening and going, well, how can we do things differently? How can we actually take on board this information to utilize that wealth, that combined wealth of knowledge, to really not just be treading water, but moving to a paddle, starting to swim, even just floating and coming back to a sense of neutral? What does that look like for you? How are you doing this? And we've covered off different strategies in the past about, the debrief process, the daily scrum or huddle or daily powwow, whatever you want to call it. But now more than ever, in times of panic, in times of frustration, in times of stress, is it more important that communication is absolutely key. That needs to be, if there's any one tip I could give you right now, that needs to be the absolute non-negotiable. Communication. Because without communication, we create assumptions. We increase levels of uncertainty. And through increased levels of uncertainty, we increase levels of anxiety, of fear, of worry. And as a result of that, we're not performing to our peak standard. And so my question to you is, if you're stressed out, how are your team actually doing? Have you even asked them? Have you even explored that? Because you're a leader within your organization, but that doesn't mean you need to take it all on board yourself. What I'm saying is that use the collective power of the team to then spread the load, to spread the burden, to empower others to support you as well. And one other way that we can all support each other is through groups like the Limitless Network. If you're frustrated, if you've got some stresses, feel free, join. The details are in the comment section below. It is a group of like-minded people that value health in any way, shape, or form. The details are in the description box below. But as you know, each Friday we deep dive into practical ways to implement the strategies and the topics that we cover off throughout the week. And tomorrow we're going to deep dive into this topic a lot more because it's so relevant right now, I feel. Everyone I chat to is so reactive. Each day, we'll just take each day as it comes, each day as it comes, each day as it comes. But for your team, even for yourself, that's keeping you up at night, going, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And yes, there is that level of uncertainty at the moment through factors that we cannot control. But are we then taking all that information on ourselves, or all that burden on ourselves? If our other team members say, hey, you know what, there's that piece of driftwood there, there's this light bulb there, there's a life ring there, here's a life jacket to put on. Are we listening out for that information? If there's suggestions, or are we just being dismissive? So utilize your team. Now is even more important to lean on them, because so often you will find your team lean on the leader during times of, but what they're leaning on is not necessarily to do the work for them, but it's leaning on the leader to provide elements of certainty. But by providing elements of certainty through communication, we can find out and actually level the playing field. We can get out what's up here, the stresses, the worries, the anxieties, the fears, the frustrations, and openly discuss it. Openly discuss it and go, you know what, team, this is what I'm feeling right now. These are the pressures that I'm undergoing right now. How can we as a team support each other through this? What are your suggestions? And so my challenge to you is, when could you start involving your team to help hold you up so that you yourself aren't just treading water? How can you use your team to go and get a piece of driftwood to hang on to get a life ring, to give you a lifeboat, whatever it might be? How can we utilize this resource? So that's it from me today. Have an absolutely incredible day. And like I said, we drop an exclusive episode on Tea with Z every Friday in the Limitless Network. So details are in the description box below. Bring your friends, your family, anybody. You don't have to be working in the health industry to be a part of the Limitless Network. It could be anybody. We've got amazing people from all diverse backgrounds from all over the world in the Limitless Network. So jump on, and I look forward to catching up with you exclusively there tomorrow for another episode of Tea with Z. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.